Hello, Michael Talbot-Kelly here. Thanks for joining me again. We've been trekking across this bridge of the purpose formula, right? Our true nature plus our essential qualities. Our true nature is our, what we might call source energy, God, or our Buddha nature, plus our essential qualities of warmth, of joy, of peace, of love, combined with our natural gifts. We talked about music, art, teaching, spiritual guidance, you name it, being a politician, being really good at bow and arrow, all sorts of natural talent, natural gifts that we have. We're talking today about personality resistance, our fears, one of my favorite topics, and you'll understand why in a second. And then we aim all of this towards a meaningful need, and guess what? We arrive in the territory that we've been dreaming about, that territory where we feel on purpose. We feel connected and understood with what our link is to humanity, to the world, and what our contribution is. And then we also feel that we matter. By us turning up the dial and getting on with this, we actually become bigger, in terms of girthier. We grow up, we grow down, we grow up into gravitas, not hopefully, too big, in terms of volume, but in terms of weight, the weight of who we really are. So sometimes we're trying to mimic that genuine gravitas. We're doing what is very natural for us. This is very authentic and genuine and it's our authority. And it also is basically our way of authoring our life. And when we do that, yes, do we stand up and celebrate. And when we have that, we feel like a mountain. I don't know if you've ever hugged somebody like that, somebody who's the salt of the earth, somebody who's a real artist that's just, never mind what everybody else is doing, is constantly getting on with his craft or her craft. And man, they're just like, they're here. But they may not. We mimic that sometimes and think if we just get bigger, we're gonna have that weight. No. We'll have physical weight, but we won't have that soul weight, if that makes sense. We've heard about soul nourishment. We've talked about that many times. So here we go, right? We're en route. Here we are traveling now across, and look, everything's looking pretty rosy. We're all gussied up. We're feeling great. We've sat in the meditation and accessed the stillness and that suchness. We're now feeling the warmth and the love that is it's fearless love, kind of love. And we want to bring it out, and we know what we're going to work. We're going to be on our natural gifts. And then all of a sudden, our husband bumps into it and says, yeah, whatever, dude, get the dishes done because it's your turn, and walks away. And you're going, oh, what? And you get to work and say, yeah, whatever, there's bills to pay. We're almost bankrupt. Or, yeah, you know what, that's all good, but you've got some serious family depression going on, and we're worried about it turning into Alzheimer's, and you're just deflated. You're just like knocked up against the wall. You're just like knocked over. You're knocked over on your bicycle. And no, I don't mean to be facetious or any disrespect, because I've certainly had my fair share of my own challenges and resistances, and of course I have plenty of folks coming in to see me because these symptoms are just way too loud, and and we're talking about symptoms of let me get over here. We're talking about different kinds of fears. Fear of rejection. We're talking about angers. The shame of being angered all the time, the anger of being shamed in your family all the time, even though you know this. They keep putting you down and keeping you small and keeping you in your place. And it could be guilt. It could be that you're feeling a certain amount of jealousy, envy, and you're feeling like the fear of abandonment. You're feeling like you couldn't possibly stand up. Your fear of success, right? We know that for plenty of folks, certainly for myself included, and plenty of other folks, is that it's one of those things that you got to lean into on a regular basis. But all of this, my teacher said, is the resistor, and that we need to meet straight up. We definitely need to meet with all of this in our cup. So our cup fullness allows us to meet the resistor, and the resistor basically is all of this is any kind of resistance. And here's the thing that I want to say about that. Your resistances are purpose-driven. Why? They're purpose-driven to help you step into a deeper kind of trouble. A deeper kind of trouble, we say, we all have to be in some sort of trouble in Ireland. In Ireland, we say that, but it just has to be the right kind of trouble. This is the right kind of trouble. But it's not like, okay, well, I just go to school and everything's honky-dory. Well, maybe. That does actually happen for some people. It's a nice little cakewalk. But for most people, we bump into some sort of challenge. Not enoughness, or not enough money, not enough talent, not enough blondness, not enough brunettess, not enough redheadedness. Not enoughness in all its various guises is fear, which is another word for resistance. Now, what I want to say to you is that it's purpose-driven to really, for you to befriend those resistances. If you're going to fight it all the time and you're going to challenge it every single day, it's at a certain point, you're going to be exhausted. Now, certainly sometimes we have to stand up to that fear and go out on that stage and deliver that speech anyway. Or we're going to get in that plane anyway, even if we are afraid of heights. And I am not saying we don't challenge fear. We actually do have to do that. And what I'm saying is that this is key to the kingdom, key to the queendom. Because these fears actually get us to dig deeper and, be able to pull from even more strengths and courage and boldness. And why is that important? Well, when you go out into the world and you face the meaningful need of autism, it's huge. And you might not want to get up and talk to 1,000 people at a conference about what's going on because that's your number one fear. You might have to find a way to get through that. You might have to find a way to just stop bowing down to women who are very powerful and crawling up and thinking that they know everything, and really stand up and be a man, a strong man, and meeting a strong woman and having a courageous conversation, getting into that, right? I mean, it's really important that you treat this with respect. They say, yeah, it's one thing to know your friend, but know your enemies more. That's not quite the right quote, but it's something like that, but you get the idea. So, and the other side of it is that what happens when you do work with this, you end up upgrading this into what my teachers called the completer. In other words, this energy, capital C with a little fancy physics sign vector, is that a vector sign on top? The C is the completer, and the completer comes from, like, no lead, no gold. You can't cook gold without lead. You have to have something to work with. This is kind of the friction that you need to find a way to befriend. It's not about slaying dragons. That's an old idea. That's actually not what most of the masters were talking about. It's about befriending the dragon. You need dragons, actually. You need cobras. You notice them, they're always on top of an enlightened being, or a lot of times, the hood of the cobra sitting on top of the head of the Buddha, or, because, there's not much more enlightened than you can get than a cobra. Or you'll see a wild beastie at the feet of one of the masters. Kuan Yin, I think, is standing on top of a wild animal. It could be a dragon sometimes it's a lion. But you'll see that, and that's just symbol for this resistor, how they've because you need that to help you. You need that energy. You need that verve. You need that rage. You need sometimes that fear and that tenacity of it to be transformed. That's the lead to turn into gold. That's the metaphor. And why do you need that? You're going to bump into some challenges on the road to delivering your gifts to a meaningful need in the world, right? And we're going to talk about that in a second. But honestly, this is really crucial. This is where people walk into my office and they say, well, I just, I don't know how to do this. I understand you're saying the symptoms are purpose-driven, but what bloody purpose does my anger and rage have? Well, let's sit down and talk about it. No purpose other than just, people around you are damaged. You've raped and pillaged the land on channel 1, and your family will tell you that you should be incarcerated. You're within your family and community, and then put on a smiley face for everyone else at work, but go home and knock the crap out of that families are the worst place. They're where all the murders and the abuse go on, right? That's a terrible thing what we do. So we have to learn to respect the resistor. It provides the energies we need to complete it. And so on channel 1, nothing right about anger and rage. Channel 2 there's a lot of verve, a lot of great strength and leadership and tenacity that could be there, that could be channeled into something very useful. Could be just like a warrior, put into fierce gentleness, for instance, right? Stitched together with some fierce gentleness and becoming a leader aimed towards making a difference with autism in the world and raising funds and really, whoa, we're talking about upgrade. The world is getting to be a better place, right? And don't think you don't need to have a lot of strength and a lot of gravitas and boldness. Where's that going to come from? You're going to have plenty of it inside of you, but sometimes this is what gets in the way. And so we need that in order to stand up to some of the planks out there in the world, right? Those who shall not be named. So that's that. Excited to talk about the meaningful need. Tune in. We're almost there, people. Hang in there. Purpose formula. Thanks very much. Bye for now.